Most kids learn to talk before composing their first song. But the soundtrack to Reed Warner's life has a different tune.
He hit about 18 months and then he just stopped. Everything stopped, and then he didn't talk anymore. He didn't make eye contact. He didn't like to be touched.
It wasn't long before doctors diagnosed Reed with autism.
He just recently started talking at, like, I don't know, almost 5. He was almost 5, a couple months short of that.
A first grader at Columbia Elementary School in Rochester. Reed's progress was slow but steady until Friday, February 3rd.
And he got up to the porch on the chair there, and his face was real red and his face was scrunched, and he had his fist balled up, and he was like, "That's not exactly right, Mom."
Unable to verbalize what went wrong during the first leg of his trip home from school, surveillance cameras mounted inside bus number 8 did all the talking.
You're gonna be last now. Get over. You're supposed to stay in the seat until everybody's off. Remember how that goes?
The man in the maroon is driver Gary Enyart.
Sit down. Sit down right now. Get in.
Enyart restricts Reed from getting off his bus, saying he's trying to cut the line.
Stop. You're not gonna do the lead right now.
At 6 foot 3 inches, Enyart lifts a 48-pound Reed by the hoodie of his coat.
He can go! He's not going to force his way through a line.
All to teach a lesson to a timid 6-year-old suffering from autistic nerves.
You're not going to knock people down to be first.
Some 15 seconds go by.
Reed.
Before Enyart's temper erupts.
Now listen. Sit down.
Reed, now full of tears, gets that long-awaited turn only 5 seconds later.
And this upset my wife even more, when she called me at work, upset, crying.
Josh Warner is Reed's dad.
I, told my boss, hey, I got to go take care of some business back home.
Warner drove 100 miles from his job in Whiting to the Rochester Police Department, where he watched the surveillance video and immediately pressed charges against Enyart.
That's my son. I don't even put my hands on my son. When he gets out of line, we have other methods of disciplining him. We never put our hands on him, let alone some stranger, some bus driver, that I don't know from Adam.
News Center 16 went to Enyart's Rochester home to ask what happened, despite a school bus in the driveway. No one came to the door or returned our phone calls.
And it's going to be hard for him to disengage from that.
In search for answers, we shared the video with Professor Joshua Deal.
And he's definitely not going to respond as well to the emotion. He's just not going to understand it.
Deal is the director of Notre Dame's Fun Lab for Autism Research, a leader in interpreting language to better improve treatment of the disorder.
I think that there were a couple of instances in which the bus driver acted that were not beneficial to the child with autism. But I would imagine that he probably was not trained in how to work with children with autism. Awareness is one thing, knowledge is another thing.
Knowledge Rochester Community Schools admit none of its nearly 20 bus drivers currently have, something the district says it's committed to changing.
He told us himself in the school that he is overwhelmed and frustrated, and I don't think he did anything right. He confronted my husband. He lied about picking up my son and throwing him, and I don't really think he did anything right.
After all, most accusational stories have a gray area. However, Reed's parents say this video makes their case plain as day. In Rochester, Kevin Lewis, News Center 16.
Noah, your mom's here.